Hello. Hello, guys, and welcome to Out City Cop. How are you all doing? Obviously, we're going to be talking about the Liverpool sending scouts reported by the Daily Mirror to Lyon to watch three players. Them three players would be Memphis Depay, Tangi and Dombele, and Aura. Three very young players. Obviously, Memphis Depay had his his spell at United. Was it successful? Some people say he was a decent player. Some people said he was a bit too flashy and a little like Daniel Sturridge in terms of don't know if his whole attitude and everything towards the football game and everything is right. Going by his stats that he's had this season, they're fairly good. To be fair to him, he's played 43 games, 10 goals, 15 assists this season, 5 yellow cards, no reds. That's a very good return. He's still 25 years of age. He can play left wing, attacking mid, central forward, right wing, supporting striker. And that is what, from what we know and from what we've seen this season, guys, is definitely what we need. In terms of the attacking options, we need support, especially with the likes of Daniel Sturridge going. Dom Solanke's obviously left. Danny Ings has left as well. Klopp does really fancy Ryan Brewster. But as much as the potential that Ryan Brewster has, and don't get me wrong, I see it. I've seen the highlights of Ryan Brewster. Obviously, he's just come back from quite a severe injury. He was out for best part of a year, I think it was, or maybe 9 months. But he's definitely got something there. But he's young and he's going to have to develop. We need to be able to continue to press with Man City and cope and force for ourselves to the Premier League. We need to be adding quality. And to be fair, I did a test stream earlier and I said Memphis Depay at United. That's the only way I can refer to my opinion on him is by Manchester United. And yeah, he was decent, very, very decent at United. But it was the attitude thing. It's like it would only come in spurts. He didn't know if he was, fully dedicated, and that's what I got from other Manchester United fans. But going by his stats that he's been since being at Lyon, they're really outstanding. They are really, really good, and that's what we need. Obviously, he's a Dutch international for the Netherlands, so that's Genie Wijnaldum and Virgil van Dijk. Obviously, De Ligt, obviously, everyone's been linked with at the minute. Every club and their mother is linked with De Ligt. But going by his stats, his price, I dread to think what he'd be worth at that current rate. The transfer market is currently valuing him at 45 million. Do you think that's a steal for that sort of return? His goals and assists, 15 assists, 10 goals this season in 33 games is a good return. But is he going to want to come sit on the bench and play second fiddle? That's the problem that Liverpool are going to have at the minute, guys. Is our people going to want to come here and just play second fiddle to us and not really, does he want to move to a club where he's going to be the man? I would have thought at Lyon, he's probably at the point of, he's up there with being the man. Obviously, they've still got Naby Fekir and things like that at Lyon, but, he's definitely a big cat over there. So would he want to come over here and try and just have the competitiveness of trying to break into the team with taking Salah out, Firmino, and obviously Mane? I don't know. But we'll have to wait and see. I think if we can get him for that sort of price, at 40 million mark, why not? Why not? He's still 25 years of age. I thought he was a lot older than that. So he's still got age and he's not hit his peak. His peak is what they say, 27, 28. So it could be a good shout. Obviously, the second player that they went over there and looked at was a central midfielder. He's 22 years of age. His name's it's spelt like Tanguy, but Tanguy or Ndombele. Central midfielder. He played, how many games did he played 42 games this season, got 2 goals, 8 assists, no red cards, 3 yellow cards. He can play right mid, CM, central defensive midfielder. Again, he's valued on transfer market around 45 million. He's obviously a French international. He's got 0 goals but 4 caps for them. I don't really know much about him, guys. And again, I watched his highlight reel. I will get to the comments in a minute, guys. I just want to get this little section out of the way. His highlight reel, he looks decent, but every highlight reel makes him look decent, guys. You don't watch a highlight reel to watch him be crap unless they're Loris Karius. But I don't know much about him. From what I've seen, he looks like a good player, but if it's 45 million for a player that I've never really heard of, Granted, you guys may have done. I'm not too sure. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But 45 million, guys, if that seems a bit excessive for me, but it's a fairly good season. You know, well, he could do with more goals on the goals return, but has he been playing more? He's played 31 games as a CM and 9 games as a defensive midfielder. So with him being more of a central midfielder, I'd like to see more assists because he's played predominantly more games this season as a central midfielder. I'd like to see a bigger goal return, especially from being in the French league. It's not the most competitive league in the world, so I'd like to think that he would be able to develop and get more goals on in the bag. But he's still only 22 years of age. And then going by the third player that Liverpool have scouted. This is obviously an article that the Daily Mail put out yesterday or the day before. Sorry, I'm a little late towards it. But this is the third player. With these names, guys, this is not fair. He's called Houssem Aura, I think his name is. He's 20 years of age, again, French international. He's currently international. He's from under 21s. He's been capped 9 times, scored 2 goals. This season, he's played 43 games in all competitions, scoring 7 goals with 7 assists, 3 of them and 3 assists in the Champions League, so a total of 10. So he's played in the Champions League. He's 20 years of age. Obviously, he's again a central midfielder. Again, I don't know much about him. I don't really follow the French league. He's still young. Transfer market evaluating him at 36 million, which is cheaper, but he's 20 years of age. But I guess the whole transfer market these days is a bit just, it's crazy. It's Wolf on Wall Street sort of money. You know, you pay excessive money for really young talent these days. But again, I don't know much about him. Going by his stats, yeah, they're fairly decent. He's played a lot of games. I know he's still young, still developing his craft, but 35 appearances, 7 goals and 7 assists in their league. Again, that's a lot of games. You'd like to see you have a bigger and better goal return in terms of that league's competition isn't that forefront. But yeah, very good, promising young player, I guess. I looked at his highlight reel, and again, he looks like a very, very decent player. But is that the sort of money that Liverpool are going to be willing to spend? Are Liverpool looking into players more squad rotation rather than first teamer? I guess Memphis Depay would be definitely there to compete for the first team due to his age and just his name and his profile that he's set for himself at the moment. So I'd like to think that he'd be able to come in and challenge and maybe give more rest to Mane and Salah and Firmino. Again, players don't like to rest, but they all do. They all need it, especially with the Premier League, the Champions League, and hopefully next season we can come across with more FA Cup runs and League Cup runs and actually have a bit more to play for in the season. Albeit this season has been amazing, so close, just missing out on the Premier League by a goal, as well as the emphatic win of the 4-0 victory over Barcelona at Anfield, which was absolutely astonishing to make us reach the Champions League final in Atletico Madrid versus Tottenham Hotspur. So it's an all-English final, guys, and it's absolutely amazing. Right, I've finished this little segment on this player. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm going to start from the beginning and read them out. Sorry, I've just looked over on the screen as well, and for some weird reason, the chat's not working, so we're going to have to get rid of that, and I'll sort it out eventually. Do apologise, but right, here we go. One tap and Anthony, you're alive. That is a very good first good question. Definitely, comment is amazing. Yes, I am alive. I'm not here in some weird virtual, as much as this is virtual, I guess, but no, I am live. Ewan Gibb, Wambanat for 25 mil. Do you think we'll get him for 25 million? Is he coming to the last year of his contract? I need to check. I'll check his stats out in a second, but it seems like we've gone in for him a fair few times and nothing's really materialised. Is he still by Leverkusen? Is that the team? Again, yes. Going by what I've just seen with Depay, and again, I've got to hold my hands up because, like I said, I did a test stream earlier, and I said I weren't the best fan due to what I'd heard from other fans. Again, I didn't really monitor him that much. This is Memphis Depay, that is. But going back from what I've just seen in his stats since being at Lyon, he's a very, very talented player. Leverkusen will probably get Champions League though. Yeah, but are they going to get cheese off? Are they going to get Champions League with the potential of winging it? You know, we've got back-to-back leagues here, guys. You know, that's definitely a big pulling power for players. One tap Anthony again. I started a out of City Cup. I do remember that indeed. Thank you so much. I'm going to be doing some interviews. I'm hopefully going to go to Liverpool and watch the. We did try and get. We are still. There's still hope for us maybe going over to Madrid, not to go and watch it at the actual Atletico Madrid ground, but actually just go to Madrid and go and get the party atmosphere in the streets and stuff and get some interviews and whatnot. But we're waiting on a passport. Someone's a bit slack, but we won't get into that. And then if that doesn't fall through or materialise, then hopefully we can get to Liverpool. They're doing something at one of the arenas at Liverpool. And it's probably like 10,000 tickets, I think, for sale to go up there and watch the Champions League. So hopefully we'll get there. And then during the day, we can go outside Anfield, set the camera up and get some interviews with you guys and see what the general consensus of us winning the Champions League. Right, we're arguing here. Here we go. Mickey Freyers. We should be talking about Pepe again. Why? What's your thoughts on Pepe, guys? Again, he's a good player, but what do you think Liverpool need? Right, definitely. I'd look at Timo Werner would be the ideal candidate for that. The front attacking three. I think he presses really well. I think from what I've seen by Depay, he can be that little bit lazy in terms of we like to counter press and then counter attack off that counter press. I don't think Depay would give you that. That's my only concern. Obviously, he has attributes that are probably better than Timo Werner in other aspects. But if you're going by FIFA Ultimate Team ratings, Timo Werner looks amazing by his end of season card. So Timo Werner would be my ideal player for that position in terms of the attacking front that we need. I still think we could do with that Coutinho mould. I don't know if Depay would be the ideal candidate for that, but then there has been talks of if you do get a Depay and you can put like a Salah and a Mane up front and drop Firmino into that holding role or into the playmaking role, that the 10 position. That's how you'd be able to introduce him. But then obviously you lose someone in midfield. You'd have to keep Fabinho in the defensive, and then what happens with there? You go into I don't know, a 4-1-2-3-1, I guess. Weird formation. Pepe, best in France outside PSG. Right, fair enough. A bit of a stretch that, Mickey. Trust me, I watch a lot. Do you watch a lot of okay, fair enough. If you actually generally watch a lot of League One football, then you'd be a great person to ask about. So Ndombele and Aura, what's your general thoughts on him? Do you think he's worth the money that people are estimating he's worth? Around, like, Aura's meant to be worth around 36 million, and Ndombele is meant to be around 45 million, and Ndombele 22, Aura 20. That's a lot of money for players who are very, very, very young. They've definitely got potential. France just coming back off winning the World Cup and things like that. So, the setup they've got around them is the correct setup they need to be able to fully get everything out of their potential. But have they got the character and the stomach to reach that potential? That's the thing. These players, if these players are serious, if Liverpool are serious in bringing in these players, the Premier League is the fastest, most physicalist, toughest league there is in the world. If you're coming from, not to be disrespectful to the French league, to Ligue 1, but it's not the best, is it? There's 2 or 3 teams through my entire life growing up. Paris Saint-Germain, Marseille, and Lyon was probably the most successful. Monaco in about it now and then, but it's not a great league, guys. It really, really isn't. So that'll be my only worry. They're young and need more time for me. Yeah, I totally agree. The release clause for Brandit is only there if they don't get Champions League, by the way. And what's their release clause there, Cheesy? Brandit preferred to stay in Germany. Yeah. But why, guys? That's the thing. That's the thing. I understand. That's obviously where he comes from and stuff. But go and if you've definitely got the potential to go in there and be like a world beater or playing at a world class level, you need to be hitting Spain and England. England is obviously the best in terms of the football league, but in terms of competition and to be able to fulfill your potential, I definitely think they're definitely the two leagues you need to be going to or progressing to. Obviously, Spain again isn't the most competitive all-round league as much as the Premier League, but they do arguably have like 2 or 3 of the best teams in the world in that league. Could you say that for France? No, I would. I personally wouldn't say Paris Saint-Germain are like one of the best teams in the world. Um, don't get me wrong; they've got some of the best players in the world, but they never scare me. If that they don't have that like pedigree of like, oh my god, we're playing Paris Saint-Germain. Even when we had them out in the knockout, in the group stage of the Champions League this season, as much as the first game was a challenge and we actually won it 3-2 and we got tonked away, I still just I reckon if Mbappe left and Neymar weren't there, I don't think they're a very good team personally. PSG are dangerous but suffer from playing in a weak league. That's exactly it. And that's what a lot of these teams suffer with it. It happens across the board. Look at Porto. Porto are a very good team playing a weak league. Come out, in the Champions League, back-to-back Champions Leagues that we played last season and this season just gone, and we tonked them. We absolutely tonked them. But in their league, they pretty much win their division year in, year out. So again, the Italian league isn't the best league in the world. But again, they've got a few good teams. Back in the times when AC Milan and Inter Milan were actually a dominant force, of the times where they had like Adriano, Ronaldo, players like that, Pirlo, that's when the Italian league actually had a bit of clout behind it. But since then, they've not really done anything in my eyes. I don't really have much time for them. Benfica, do you think Benfica are a great team? Do you really? I don't know. They're good teams, don't get me wrong, but I think in this day and age, like, there's just like an elite level of teams at the moment at the top. Man City, I'd give it Liverpool, I'd give it Real Madrid, I'd give it Barcelona, and potentially at the minute I'd give it Juventus as well. Felix is good, yes, Felix is good. There was talks about Liverpool looking around Felix, but it, again, isn't every club at the moment. Again, very young, great potential. They are, but suffer from weak leagues. Yeah, they do. They do suffer massively for weak leagues. For weak leagues, way too much. 100%. Also, guys, I didn't manage to set up the Skype thing, but again, if you guys have got Skype, Discord, that sort of thing on your mobile devices, you can get them on your tablets, you can get them on your PCs. I think you can even get Discord on like your Xboxes and PlayStations these days. If you can, make sure to go and get that, and we're going to be doing call-ins as well, and get you guys on here and get you talking, getting your opinions spread out across and let everyone hear them. Way too much would be 100 million. It's like 100 million for Felix. I don't think so. But I guess I can imagine they'd want a lot of money, but I don't see anyone actually going out there and spending 100 million. Are you doing call-in today? Yes, we can do a call-in today if you like. We can hit up on the Skype thing, and we can go for that and try it out for the first time. Kieran, how you doing, dude? I can't say that I have been watched a lot by Liverpool scouts. I'd expect Depay over our... Okay. Well, yeah, that's the thing. I think Depay holds the clout of that. He's been in this league. He did do some good goals in this league as well. But it's the cost factor. I don't see Liverpool being scared to throw the money around, if you know what I mean. If they want to play, if they've got a player in their mind who they think that's who we want, that's who we want to bring in, then fair enough. I can see Liverpool spending what it costs. But I don't think, if people think they're going to be doing like Van Dijk sort of money, Alisson sort of money, even Fabinho, Keita money, I don't think that will be happening this season, guys. I more think you'd be looking like 20, 30 million pound players, try and build that squad depth up. Because, we've got players leaving. Simon Mignolet is going to be leaving. We're going to need a backup goalkeeper. We've got Daniel Sturridge is going to be leaving. Who else we got? Adam Lallana could still be leaving, guys. He's not had much game time. He's getting on. When Klopp first came in, I thought Adam Lallana was the typical Klopp player, and he was fantastic. But the fact that Adam Lallana is just been so goddamn injury prone, he's lost that yard of pace. Don't get me wrong, he can still... He's a wizard with the ball at his feet. He's a joy. He generally is a joy to watch. But I just don't see a position in this team. I don't think he's strong enough for this team anymore. And I think we've just outgrown them sort of types of players, if you know what I mean. So the likes of your Lallanas, your Daniel Sturridges, even like players, Origi, even Dejan Lovren to a degree. again, Albert Moreno is going to be leaving. Them sort of players we've outgrown. Liverpool has surpassed that period of their time, and we're now on that elite level where it's got to be the best guys. It really has to do, albeit I do believe in Klopp's philosophy and who he brings in. I think he's got a fantastic eye and a fantastic managerial asset of being able to bring out the best of players. And I think that is a massive attraction, especially for the likes of Depay. Just going by looking at his stats today, I thought he was a lot older than 25. Is it 25? Yeah, 25. I thought he's a lot older than 25. I thought he's more like 27, 28. So the fact that he's still got that development period in him, I think Jurgen Klopp could generally bring out the best in him. I really, really do. Kieran, Julian Badet is the first choice, but looks like he wants to remain in Germany, unfortunately. Plus, Depay is his best mates with Gini, which is a bonus as he's been in his ear all season about it. That's Messi has autism. Wow, taking that. What's my Skype? It's just Outer City Cop. Spaced words, outer space, city, obviously. It's not all one word. If you hit me on there, we can try and sort this out. I've got it up ready. And let me know your thoughts. It'd be great to see if this all works. Also, sorry about the chat. Normally on the overlay that your guys are looking at in a minute, there will be the chat log so you can actually see the chat, but it's not working. I'm not even joking. He does. Really? Well, fair enough. If you're probably the man that I generally go to for that sort of weird information, to be honest with you. Oh, here we go. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Yes, hello, mate. How are you, Michael?
I'm fantastic.
Good man, good man, good man. So what are your thoughts then, dude?
The thoughts are this is going to be a really interesting transfer window because we no longer need a bigger squad.
Right. Do you not think so?
No, I think we need to keep the majority of what we got now and sell the fringe players that went out on loan. And then what we need to do is buy, like you just said, either the best youngsters or the best players around to improve the team. And then the first team has become part of the squad, and the squad gets bigger that way. Because that's all Liverpool need now. We need to upgrade. We've got to take Man City on. They're going to improve massively because of our challenge, and they need to pull away, and we've got to keep with them.
Well, I personally, when I look at City's team, I don't see areas where they can strengthen. I think they're set there for the next 2 to 3 years. I think everyone's got to try and gain to that level of where they're already at, because it's insane. You look at they had Kevin De Bruyne out for 12 weeks, I think it was this season, and he was arguably their best player last year. Well, the season prior to that, and it didn't even look like they missed him. They're bringing on Bernardo Silva. They're bringing on Leroy Sané. As much as Shaqiri's had his Man United, for instance, fantastic little cameo when he came on. He's not at that level, and that's where I think we need to start pushing to, is so we can bring on top quality off the bench. Again, Daniel Sturridge isn't up there at the minute anymore. He would have been 13-14 season, but now I think his legs have gone.
I agree, but I think Shaqiri's a quality player to come off the bench. There's more to come from him next season. I think he's had a bedding in season. I think there's more to come from Keita.
Yeah, definitely at the back end of the season, Naby came out and started to look like the player that we'd bought prior to that. But again, he wasn't speaking English and things like that. So that people got to take that sort of thing into factor. You know, moving to a different country where you can't speak the lingo, it's going to be a massive challenge. 100% it's going to be.
Well, moving from any of the leagues in Europe to the Premier League is a massive challenge, because you don't get time on the ball in the Premier League, and that's why we've got 4 teams in all 4 finals, because we are the best, fastest, and most physical league out there.
Yeah, 100%, and that's where I think with this whole the scouts going to Lyon, where they favour the Memphis Depay, is the fact that he's been in the Premier League, albeit he may not have lit the Premier League on fire, but he knows what he's coming into. He's definitely got a base level of the expectations of what the Premier League is going to bring for him.
I agree, but the fact he played for Man United and the fact he still tweets about how much he loves them, I really wouldn't welcome him, and I think he'd be very unpopular. And I've got a funny feeling that he would not come as well.
Right, due to the fact of his love for United.
Yeah, yeah. If you read his Twitter page, he's still got lots of Man United stuff on there. Wishes them luck, and when they played us in the 0-0 draw, he wished he'd beat us. So, I think he'd be a very unpopular choice. But
Well,
he'd
shame Michael Owen didn't have that same outlook in life, really, I guess.
well, exactly. Look how we vilified Michael Owen. Even though, to be fair, he should be judged on what he did for Liverpool rather
100%.
than,
100%.
which was fantastic. He made a few mistakes towards the end of his career, but joining United. But his love for Liverpool's there now. You see him as a pundit. He's more Liverpool than he is anything else.
Yeah, you do see that. It's again, it just boils down to going to United is his biggest downfall. Yeah, I don't think if he hadn't gone to United, I think obviously how he left for Madrid wasn't the best at the time. But in terms of that, would have been forgiven, forgot. But I think it's the United thing where what lingers over his head, and the fact that his very monotone voice makes me want to go to sleep. He's all good.
He is, he is. But going back onto the subject for Depay, I really, honestly, I do watch a lot of League One, um, and I'm telling you that Pepe is something else, and he's only a kid. Put him with Klopp. Klopp will improve him. He is going to be one of the best players in the world in a few
Right.
years' time.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, I need to get his stats up. Carry on. So let me have a look at his
yeah,
age and stuff.
it's if you look at his stats, though, you've got to look at his dribbling. I mean, he literally he played Paris Saint Germain and he absolutely destroyed some, and they've got some of the best. I know we talked about it earlier. Paris Saint Germain are a great side, but they suffer from playing in a weak league. And if they played in a stronger league, they would be a better side.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with that, but they don't. So that's their massive downfall. It's like the Champions League. You see it massively in the Champions League, and again, I think as much as like Bayern Munich are dying off now, but they're aging. They could come back, but again, it's that. Would you say the German league's that competitive?
No, the German league's very much one-sided.
Exactly, and that's
Bayern Munich have had a bad season, and they're still going to win it.
well, it says a lot. It's unfortunate for Dortmund. Obviously, I'd like to see Dortmund win. But looking at this, Pepe's stats, they are phenomenal. 23 years of age, 21 goals, 12 assists this season. Wow.
Yeah, look at if he's got his dribbles and his passing
I'm
and
looking
everything.
now.
Completed dribbles, completed passes. It's amazing.
Yeah, he does look very, very impressive. Been capped by Ivory Coast 11 times, 4 goals. It's the age thing. But what's this place? So it's French, but Ivory Coast citizenship. Okay. Yeah. To be honest, I'd be up for any player with any good stats at the minute to be able to just come in and fill a hole. I am very worried the fact that as much as, like I said, Rhea Brewster has got the potential, he still will be in the nurturing process of bringing him in, bedding him into the playing style. Albeit I know he trains with the squad a lot, but there is going to be that. He's not done it in the Premier League, and the fact that Sturridge is gone, Divock Origi's gone, Danny Ings has gone. Do you not Divock Origi? Sorry, Dom Solanke. Do you think Divock Origi going by this season could be the perfect fit for an off the bench player?
Listen, Origi is the perfect on the bench player because he's big, he's strong. When we're struggling to beat teams, he can hold the ball up better than our forwards. Because all our forwards are all wingers, really.
Yeah,
Even Firmino, and they do struggle to do what Origi does. And I think he's somewhat different. And also, he's good at the crosses. Uh, he's in the air. I think he can add something different. Origi, to me, is a stayer, a definite stayer, but he's not a starter. If you know what I mean.
yeah. No,
He's not.
again, what you touched on it just a second. He's like his accolades. He's tall. He's powerful. He's quick. He's got everything there to be an absolutely beast of a player, but I just don't think he has the footballing brain. He dribbles that little bit too much. He always tries to be a bit flashy, whereas he could have done a simple thing and it could have materialised to something a bit better, a goal or whatnot. But going by this season, I think he's getting better. Like after this season, his hold-up play is a lot better than what it used to be. He used to just play on the shoulder all the time. So he is developing. And if he has a good crack at the whip under Jurgen Klopp, he could potentially become out a really good player, especially if he can, as a bench player and a League Cup runner, an FA Cup run player. I'll be all up for it.
We've got to understand is Origi will know if he signs a new contract that he's not first choice. And if he signs the contract, that says to me he wants to be at Liverpool. He wants to try and get himself in that first team, and he's willing to sit on the bench and wait bide his time. We don't want players that want to be guaranteed first team, because that's not going to happen in any club.
Right.
And
Yeah. Yeah. I know where you're coming from.
and it's
That's the problem Liverpool are going to have, is getting players who are going to want to fight for that first team spot. That's what we're going to need. We're going to need competition to put Salah at his paces, to keep Mane on top form, because if someone's going to be knocking on their heels saying, look, mate, as soon as you slip, I'm taking your spot and I'm going to try and keep it. That's the mentality we need next.
most definitely. But going back to Pepe, so while I tell you what I've heard, the rumours, and it's come from the Man United channels, and it's come from a Man United circle, is they really went all out for him since January. They've been sending representatives to his agent, and this summer, when the season ended, they properly went to approach him properly. And his agent says, by the way, Liverpool has spoke to us. We're not interested anymore, and that's come from a Man United source.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, so he was interested in United, and then we've come in, spoke to him, and from what I'm hearing, Liverpool are waiting till after the Champions League final because they don't want to unsettle the current side.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
So we'll wait and see on that one. But he's well worth the 60 million that we're going to pay for him. And if he plays half as good as he does in the French league, we've got one hell of a player.
Right. Okay. So what? You're confident of Liverpool trying to secure his signature? Then is that what you're saying?
I am because I believe we're going to buy 3 players max, possibly just 2, for big money, and then we're going to look at some kids around. We need a left back because Moreno's gone. We can't keep putting Milner in the back 4. We need some backup. There's talk of, I don't know what his name is, of a lad from Bristol City.
Oh yeah, I know. What, the centre back? Is he a centre back?
He's a left back. He's a left
right.
back.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently he's been pretty decent this season. Liverpool want to develop him into the backup left back, play him in the League Cup and the FA Cup.
Yeah, well, like I say, if we can keep, that's another thing that's hindered our development for our youngsters this season, is the fact that we keep getting knocked out of these League Cups and FA Cups very, very early.
Well, let's be honest, we've not had the best of draws. I'd like us to draw some lower league sides to get through the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, fair enough. I can agree with what you're saying there. I was going to ask you a few questions out of the comments, right? And you give me your opinion on it. So, on Origi, mate, I do know he will be offered a new contract, but he will stall on that until he knows of any of those attackers coming in. If there's not, he will stay, as he knows his second choice. So he's basically, if we get anyone who goes in his position, he doubts he will sign a contract. What's your thoughts on
that? From what I think he'll sign.
Do you think he'll stay regardless if we bring anyone in?
Yeah, he's been away on loan a couple of places. He's not had a good time. He's come back early from one of them, I'm sure, last season.
He was at Wolfsburg for a bit, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, the Liverpool fans, because of his last-minute goal against Everton, you know what I mean? It means a lot to these players. They want to be loved. Yeah. And to be fair, his first touch was terrible, but was it lack of confidence? And now, has he got the confidence in the manager? And he's looking a lot better. I mean, he played well against Wolves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was impressed.
Well, look at Barcelona, for crying out loud. Who thought that we'd have got that sort of performance without having Salah on the pitch and bringing a no Firmino? You know, he stood up and he got the early goal. So he has weirdly, without really being like the player, oh Jesus Christ, we're bringing Origi on. He's now like a folk hero. It's like just the Liverpool fans, because he's done something to get him somewhere. It's like they can forgive that he's passed and now look forward and start just getting really behind him.
Well, you got to remember, he's still young.
Yes, he is. What, 23? I think 23.
Yeah. He's still young, so he's still learning, and he hasn't really had the game time to learn, has he?
No. And do you think that run in when we went to the Europa League final, he was pivotal in that? He played a massive part in that cup run. So he's definitely got that. He steps up when he needs to step up. He really, really does. Newcastle as well, stepping up. Albeit I think he got classed as an own goal, but it was down to him applying the pressure to create the goal.
That's his goal all day long. He headed it towards goal. It hit the defender and went in, but
Right.
it would have gone in. It would have gone in, I'm sure.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. But yeah, so the fact that he's done these little bits, get the statue out already. I think if we win the Champions League, sign him a contract, man. Give him $100,000 a week. Why not? He deserves it.
Well, no Origi, no Champions League final. Simple as that.
Exactly that. Exactly that. So it's. I could see him sign a new contract. Going by what Kieran's message is on the chat, I can see him sign a new contract regardless of bringing a player in. I can only, but I think he would want a certain amount of games each year. I really think he'll try and implement that into his contract.
But like I said, this Liverpool don't do them sort of contracts anymore, where they guarantee people first team football and all that. Yeah. They used to, and it caused major problems for us in the past. Klopp wants players that will just sign contracts and want to play for Liverpool, whether you know what I mean. And he says, then you in training, you earn your place. That's what Klopp does.
Yeah,
Klopp looks at you in training. He doesn't look at your last game. He looks at you in training that week.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty, and that's what a lot of players should take from Jurgen Klopp. It's the fact that he does give you opportunity. It's not like it's who you are. So, say if he brought in a world-class player, it's until you prove yourself at this club, and I can see it on the training, you doing my philosophy, then you won't be in the squad. And that's what I love about him. And that's what should give a lot of youngsters the bit between the teeth to go, well, actually, if I do show myself in training, this is the manager who will give me a chance. Rather than some managers won't. They'll just go by the best name. You know, oh, yeah, you'll start. Whereas I don't think Jurgen Klopp does that.
No, he doesn't. He definitely doesn't do that. I mean, he's made some really what we thought have been weird choices, and they've just come off. I mean, do you remember when we saw Andy Robinson, and we were all like, "Why have you brought him?"
Yeah, just been relegated with Hull.
Yeah, 2 years later, we're going. He's the best left back in Europe. Yeah. It's amazing.
And it was shrewd business for Andy Robertson as well. Didn't we sell him Kevin Stewart for the same amount of money? And then
I think it was basically a swap deal, wasn't it? It was more like a swap deal. I think we basically gave him Stewart for him because they were both the same price.
Right. So Kevin Stewart or Andy Robertson, I know I'd have any day now.
Oh yeah, but when he signed him, we were all like, "Why are we signing these left backs and like this?" And everyone was questioning it. And then he's come in. He didn't play for 3 months. We're all going, "Whoa, what a waste of money that was!" And then all of a sudden he's come in. He's hit the ground running.
So, in terms of this whole situation with the attacking, so you said 2 major signings is what you'd expect from Liverpool this season, and then squad players around that are youngsters. So was it a left back and an attacking player is the ones that you was aiming for?
Well, I would say the left back would be more of a younger signing, like I said, from the Bristol City. Okay. I personally believe that Klopp wants another centre back. He wants to offload Lovren, and I'm hoping it's De Ligt.
I can't see it as much as I think that's the fans' choice. I think De Ligt's move is going to be going on game time. I think that's how he's going to be looking at it. It's where am I going to get more game time, Barcelona or Liverpool? And weirdly, I think Barcelona would get more game time.
He could do, but to be honest, I think he'd be first choice for Liverpool as well because he is that good.
But then what's that message that sent to Gomez?
Well, then Gomez
can
right back, left. Gomez was left back the first season he was here.
I understand that, but before Gomez got injured, I think we had conceded 12 or 13 goals all season in the Premier League. And then when he got injured, that's when we started leaking goals. So does he deserve to have that thrown on him due to getting injured? He's just said, well, you should give me my chance, and I did that, and we probably had the best defence until he got injured. And then as soon as the transfer window comes up, he gets bought out.
Yeah, this is football. Football it's all about progressing. Now, then it's up to Gomez. If De Ligt comes in and De Ligt plays wonderfully well, because what's happened now is Matip's come in and been better than Gomez. So Gomez is going to struggle to get in the side anyway. And we were all on about Matip leaving the end of this season. He's not good enough. Right. These players, Matip's had to step in because he knew Gomez was that good. He knew he had to play brilliantly. And that's what he's done. This is how top teams work.
But do you not think Matip, Gomez always had this in their locker? It was just who else they were partnered with. And bearing in mind the impact that Alisson Becker's had on the defence. just that reassurance that you can actually trust your goalkeeper. We've not had that since what? Even the back end of Pepe Reina, you couldn't really trust him. So the fact that we've now got that, these players like Matip, Gomez, are looking class because they're going, well, actually, we ain't got this panic and stress behind us because of the goalkeeper.
Well, it's took a lot of pressure off the defence. To be fair, Lovren isn't that bad, but he does make 5 or 6 mistakes a game. There's no getting away from it. He switches off. I don't know what's wrong with him. He just switches off. He does an amazing last-ditch tackle 1 second, and the next minute, it's like gone round him. If you look at the Man City game, both the goals were his fault.
Who's this Lovren you're on about, yeah?
Yeah, Lovren, yeah. Both them goals were his fault.
I think Lovren's best games are when he's like up against a Troy Deeney. That's where Lovren, where he comes out. He likes a little fight, Lovren. He's boisterous and a bit like you just get stuck in. Whereas Van Dijk and Matip, as much as they're centre-backs, but they're footballers. I think Lovren is a centre-back. That's all he is. Whereas you could play Matip in a defensive role, you could play Virgil van Dijk in a defensive role. Virgil van Dijk started his career and he played in his younger days was a striker. So they've got that in their arsenal, their read of play, and I don't think Lovren has that. I just think he's very just centre backish, old fashioned, sort of let's just steam into you, no thought.
Yeah, but I still think Liverpool are they're going to try for De Ligt because they spoke to him. We know they spoke to him. De Ligt's things have said they spoke to many different teams, including Bayern Munich. So he is, as this is Jamie Carragher's words, the best 19-year-old defender anyone's ever seen.
Oh yeah, he's. Have you seen his physique? His physique's like a 27-year-old. It's unbelievable. What he's done, like you said, I did a video the other day. He's 19 years of age. 19. He's got him into a semi-final. Really was so unlucky not to get him into the final of the Champions League. He's the captain. And he's won 2 doubles, the domestic league and some other little thing they have. I forget what it's called. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And do you think 60 million is the right money? I think
just a steal.
Do you think that 60 million would get his services? Because I don't think so. Because you look at like Dembele who went to Barcelona. How much they pay for him, and he was really young. So for someone who's got this promise, who's already a captain, who's already been to this, who's already won that at such a young age, I think 60 million is a bit cheap for him.
Well, it is cheap. But if we can get him for 60, let's do it. It's within our price range. We can easily afford 60 million. But see, going to Barcelona is going to be. It was nailed on for me until Griezmann announced he was leaving Atletico.
And that would be in the 100 millions, won't it?
Well, it's 110 million minimum.
Right. Okay.
Minimum. That's his buyout clause. So what they're saying now is Barcelona, because of FFP, can't, because of the amount of money they spent last season, because it goes over a period of 2 years, FFP does. So what they're saying now is that Barcelona would have to sell quite a few players to bring in all these players. Because remember, they've got De Jong coming in, 70 million. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If they buy Griezmann, that's nearly 200 million. Again, that's 600 million they spent in this FFP window. Yeah. It's way over what they can afford or what they're allowed to. What they're allowed to buy.
Barcelona, they're always dodgy with things. They get away with things.
The only thing I can do is, if they did what Paris Saint-Germain did with Mbappe, is take him on loan. But Ajax ain't going to do that. To me, it was nailed on. The Griezmann thing is for a spanner in the works because they've wanted Griezmann for a long time. A very long time. I believe they wouldn't have brought Coutinho if Griezmann was available last year. That's my thought on it. But
I can see where you're coming from on that completely.
To me, if they sign Griezmann, because we don't know whether they're signing Griezmann yet, he could end up in the Premier League. We don't know. If they sign Griezmann, it gives us a better chance. It's still a long shot, but I think if he doesn't go to Barcelona, we are his next. We are the next destination.
Right. Well, the only thing that is disheartening me towards the news of De Ligt is the fact that a lot of credible media sources have said Liverpool aren't going to be spending silly money this season. Is 60 million silly money? Probably not in today's climate.
Yeah, but Who said that at the club? The club is. If you look at the chairman the other day after the last game, he says, "Well, what's going on?" He says, "Well, we're going to be looking at strengthening the squad in the summer, uh, and we will back Jurgen Klopp in whatever he wants." These people out there, I don't understand it. The media as well want to blast Liverpool. They hate us for what we did in the eight. I don't understand it.
Yeah,
We're always getting told we've got no money, we can't afford this. So then we go, you've got to remember is we broke the world record for a goalkeeper and we broke the world record for a defender.
yeah,
I know the goalkeeper record didn't last long, but we did that. We're, you know what I mean? It's
yeah. And going by what you said with the hatred towards Liverpool, like you said, with the goalkeeper situation. So when we bought Alisson Becker for the world record fee of goalkeeper, everyone's like, "Oh my God!" As if you've done that, you're buying this man. It's not worth it. This that, and the other. Then Chelsea buy Kappa, and nothing ever gets said with how much they spent on him. It was
oh no, they
straight to
said he was the
Liverpool.
next.
Yeah,
They said he was the best thing since spread Kappa.
yeah, exactly. You know, and it's just like we have that again with Van Dijk. As if you're going to do that with the goalkeeper. With the centre back, you're paying well over the price. You tell me now, after watching him for a season and a half at Liverpool, that anyone would pay. If we sold him now, we'd get hundreds of millions for that centre back, without a doubt. So in terms of paying 75, it's definitely an investment that's definitely gone in our favour, 100%. We get our money back and some, and the transfer, the t-shirt sales and all that sort of advertisement sort of thing. So great bit of business, and like I said, a lot of people thought it was outrageous that we was paying 75 million for a centre back.
Well, listen, we've gone from one of the worst run clubs to now, and we've got to give out our owners. We blasted them when they first come. We wanted them out, but
Well,
they've turned this club completely around, and now we're the fifth most worth club in the world when we were 15th before.
definitely the appointment of Michael Edwards was Michael Edwards. Sorry, hang on.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, Michael Edwards. Is brilliant. Going by what he's done in the transfer market and what he's been able to get in terms of value for players. You know, Danny Ings, we're still owed like 18 million in for him. Look at Dominic Solanke. What did he go for? What what value he's brought to the club, and just being able to go in then and actually buy a player that Jurgen Klopp wants. We want him. All right, we'll go and get him. Look at the slyness of Fabinho. That just came out of a drop of a hat. We signed Fabinho. It's like, oh wow. I think Michael Edwards deserves a lot of credit.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But so do the owners. We're about to sign a kit deal which dwarfs Man United's kit deal. That's unbelievable.
See, I don't want to talk about that because I'm a bit bitter. I don't want Nike I really don't. I like the New Balance. I like the fact that we're the only team in the Premier League with New Balance. I like that. I'm a bit weird with stuff like that. I don't like to just go because we're going to now have that generic thing where Spurs and you have the same kit as Spurs but just different colours. Are you with me?
Well, we're not. We're not sure who's got the deal yet because Liverpool are actually saying to New Balance, if you match it, you'll get it.
Do you think New Balance will be able to match Nike in terms of?
Well, they're looking. So our kit, the last season, the season before, it's sold out. It had to be reordered in. Yeah, they couldn't keep up with the demand, the worldwide demand for our kits the last 2 years. It's made billions of pounds for New Balance. They're not going to say no. They're probably a bit miffed that it's jumped up as much as it has, but they've got to understand with success comes the money.
Yeah. No, I agree. And in terms of like me saying I want new, if more money gets generated at Liverpool and it gets shown on the pitch, obviously there's still talks of redeveloping Anfield. There's obviously moving the training complex as well and all that. So there is still things getting developed within inside Liverpool, which is obviously another plus that FSG should really get. It's just the beginning stage with FSG and doing the transfer committee, but I think it's just their naivety in terms of not knowing football and then being advised by people who again don't know much about football, and that's where I think they lied. They messed up big time, and trying to follow this philosophy that worked for them in baseball in the States. You shouldn't have done that. You should have come in here and just got yourself a football advisor and go, right, tell me how a club is run. Tell me the best philosophy that you should start a business with and live. Because I think the only reason why they bought them is because it was so goddamn cheap. And they thought, oh, well, Liverpool are a historic club. Where can you go wrong for the price they paid for them? So, and now they're realising and leaving it the important parts to certain people. Michael Edwards doing certain things, getting rid of the financial, getting rid of the transfer committee and things like that. Look what it's done. So it's a bit unfair to slag off Brendan Rodgers as much as I can't stand the bloke. I think he's an arrogant piece of something, and but he did have the shit part of the FSG mould.
Yeah, but he knew that when he took the job.
100%, 100%.
So he was told that you can't moan about something that you knew when you took the job that you weren't didn't have control over. If you didn't like it, that's why Martinez didn't take the job, originally, because he weren't in control of the transfers.
Well, whatever happened to him, I think
Oh yeah,
he's he went to Everton, and well, bless his little heart, he realised he chose the wrong club in Liverpool. But right, I'm gonna have to cut it there.
yeah,
Greatly appreciated. Nice one for dropping by, Michael. Hopefully you get to call in again. And yeah, it's been really good chatting with you, and I hope you got your point across, and people have took what you said on board and deciphered it and created their own little philosophy.
yeah. So just one last thing.
Sure thing.
Just one last thing. We've all got to get together and all pray that we win this Champions League because we deserve a trophy this season for how good we've been.
100%. And I think the fact that we have missed on the last year's Champions League, missing this Premier League by a point, the experience that we're going to gain from that, and just the heartache from it, you're going to go there with the bit in between your teeth. And I was worried the fact that we are playing Spurs, because we know Spurs, if you know what I mean. As much as we've played Ajax in the final, is we don't know them, so that you sort of, there's that mystery. You think, this could be a walk. The fact that we know what Spurs' dangers are has put a real anxiety inside my stomach. But I think that's settled down now for the fact that Liverpool have got that bit. They're going to be so devastated missing out on the league by a point, the Champions League by goalkeepers' mistakes, even the Europa League by the left back Moreno was awful and cost us that. So the fact that they've had that, I think they're just going to go in there. And I wouldn't be shocked if we go in there and we actually win the final like 3 or 4-0.
I totally agree. I just think in all the fight, even the Man City final in the League Cup, we were unlucky. The luck just didn't go our way. And running into the final, we were the best side running into all them finals, beating teams, by clear goals. We were by far the best side in the Champions League last year, better than Real Madrid. Yeah. They got through by the skin of their teeth every time.
Yeah. Well, there's a debate for the first leg against Barcelona. We played phenomenal that day, but we somehow lost 3-0. So that's the beauty of football. It's so unpredictable. So, like, who would have claimed us winning 4-0 at Anfield with the squad that was actually lining out on that day? I didn't. I would have put a bet on it. I normally, in the Champions League, I normally bet on every game in the Champions League that Liverpool play. But that, I wouldn't have touched it. I'd have gone, well, no Salah, no Firmino. It's like, ooh. But, we stepped up and we show that we have a backbone and we have grit. So if we can do that to Spurs, if we can do that to, the fact that Porto, again, we smashed them, and Bayern Munich as well, we should go in there so full of confidence. Spurs are lucky to be in that final, even just from the group stages. They are very, very lucky to be in that final.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they came back towards the end of their game against Ajax, and you know what I mean. It wasn't the fact that they'd come back from like 3-0 down against, and on paper they should have beat Ajax. Let's be honest.
Yeah, on paper, but you got to give Ajax. You always get that one team in the Champions League, and I think that was probably us last year in the Champions League. Just that one team that just keeps pushing it. They knocked Juve out, and now look at it. They're being highly regarded as a really, really good young, promising team at the moment.
Well, before I go, because I know I've got to go, because you've got is Pochettino. I believe this is his last game for Spurs, whether he wins or loses.
Well, it's interesting because Juve have just got rid of their manager, haven't they? So they're going to be on the lookout for a manager. So
he knows the project's over. I think he knows he's took Spurs as far as he can take them, because there's a lot of talk that Spurs are selling off the team in the summer as well. So.
Wow, well, I don't know. It's weird with Spurs because they had a bit of thing behind them, didn't they? Say, look, we ain't got no money because of how much the stadium got built. But now that's been built, they've got no excuses. They're going to have to back what they've started. You can't build a stadium and now be tight with money. Look what it's done to Arsenal, and they're just in disarray at the moment.
That's why you don't build brand new stadiums, because it does choke your first team.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think Liverpool just doing stands. Thingy did it as well. Man United, they just upgraded their stands at different times. I think that's the way we got to go about it.
Yeah, well, we was going to build a new stadium, and FSG looked at it and thought, well, if we build the stadium, we can't invest in the team.
Yeah.
It's
It was the planning permission, wasn't it? Because it was a lot built up around a lot of housing estates and stuff. It was that it was the hindrance. So in their eyes, they go, "Oh, we're just going to build it elsewhere, so we ain't got to sit here and try and buy all these houses off people and things."
a new stand is 150 million pounds. That's how much it cost. Yeah, a new stadium's £1 billion.
Well,
There's massive difference.
Yeah, 100%. I think the Cop needs definitely redeveloping, especially with the new bit being when I last went in. What was it? The West Brom game was the last game I went to with the VAR mentalness last season in the FA Cup. Sitting in that stand, it just makes the Cop look very small. It's great. It's really weird. And normally you sit at the Cop and go, you're the bollocks, you're the daddy when you stood in the Cop. But yeah, you don't get that feeling as much. So they definitely need to do something with that.
You wait till Anfield Road gets built, because that's going to be as big as the main stand at the other end.
Well, right, that's exactly it. Well, I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be going up there probably in the Champions League, and we're going to be doing some interviews with people with the locals around there. So there's a whole new complex. We're going to get some footage of that and stuff like that, and see if we can get a stadium tour in the morning. And go around and show it about.
You'll have to catch up with me because I'm going to the screening at the IC Arena. So,
but has it actually been put out? Ticket sales?
It's not yet, but it's going to happen. As soon as it comes in, I'm going to be smashing myself some tickets.
So it's only like 9,000 tickets, I think I read, or 10,000, something like that. So I've got to try and get myself 2 tickets. So if I'm there, make sure to hit us up and we'll get you in front of the camera, dude.
Yes, yeah, and also if you're there in the day, go to Concert Square. Trust me.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
My missus went to university in Liverpool. I'm well aware what it's like.
But it was mayhem last year at 11 a.m. in the morning. It was like being at Anfield. It was like mayhem.
Well, it's a shame that they were going to do. They can't do it at the ground, can they? Because of a concert or something that's going on. So
yeah, they're preparing for Take That the week after.
Fuck Take That, the wankers. What the fuck? Get them out of there. Jesus Christ. The fucking Champions League's on. You're going to put a mank band in there. Jesus.
But the money we're getting from these concerts is apparently well worth it, apparently.
Well, that's that. We've only just got that since getting the stand upgraded, now, haven't we? Is the fact that we have gigs and stuff there. But it's been it's been great having you here, Michael. Thank you. Call in again, and hopefully I'll catch you at the Champions League. Yeah,
definitely. We'll keep in touch anyway. So
brilliant. Have a good one, mate. Speak to you soon.
Yeah, see you later, chat.
Bye. Brilliant. Thanks again, Michael, for dropping in again. That was it went down well. Hopefully, again, on the screen there should be the chat so you can see all your comments. It makes it a lot easier for people on phones and tablets. The stream's coming up to an hour now. I want to keep it around an hour. Thank you for stopping by and putting your input on the conversation. Sorry I haven't been in the chat as much. It was just it was a delight to speak to Michael. I'll get into a few of them. I think it's been a good 5 minutes since he said he was going. I know. If you start talking about football to me, I'm going to sit there and have a conversation with you, man. If you see me in the street and went, what do you think to Liverpool? I am going to stand, even if I've got my Oscar in my arms, I'll be like, right, we're talking football, baby. Do you know what I mean? It's just my passion. He's not gone yet. Mickey's still here. I'm still here. But yeah, thanks again, Mickey, for dropping in. Thanks again, guys, for stopping by. I'll be doing some more live streams for the next week. I'm going to be setting it up so we don't have any more technical issues and get it a bit more proper. But again, thanks a lot, guys, for everything, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Peace.